we're getting, no, we're getting.
Welcome to the September 26th meeting of the Oakland Mayor and Council meeting. We have a very exciting night because whenever we have children here, that is the best thing ever. So thank you all for coming. At this time, roll call.
Mayor Schwager.
Here.
Councilman Fiali.
Here.
Councilman Knapp absent. Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman Levy.
Here.
Councilman Pinatelli.
Here.
Councilman Calamini.
Here.
Move to excuse Councilman Knapp.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Knapp had to put on a different hat, his fireman's hat. He had to go to the fire department. There was some kind of meeting with OSHA, and it was very important that he represents us in Oakland. At this time, I ask you to stand to salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. And as I start every meeting, I give a short mayor's report. I'm going to start with the library. October 13th. It's a Saturday at 11 a.m. The ribbon cutting, it's officially going to be open, the newly renovated library. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everybody who helped. There's going to be activities, food. I think there's food. I know there's going to be a lot of fun. And we're just very excited. If you haven't had a chance, though, I'm sure the parents of the children, take a tour. It's incredible. And so pleased. Thank you all for helping and for being patient. Congratulations to the Academies at Gerard Berman School for being awarded the 2018 Bergen County Utilities Authority Environmental Awareness Challenge Grant. So they're going to get money from BCUA for their environmental awareness program. And on September 30th is the annual Oakland Custom Car Show. You will have all these custom cars at the Copper Tree Mall. It's all day. And there will be representatives from the police department, fire department, first aid, a lot of sponsorship. It's being organized by the Oakland Franklin Lakes Rotary Club, the Oakland Chamber of Commerce, and Chopper Russo from RE/MAX. All the proceeds, it's free to go in and look at the cars, but those who participate in the actual car show have to pay a fee. And all the proceeds are going to a charitable military veterans group, which provides burials for veterans. So it's a very important charity that all the money is going to. Now, if you are here to hear about the marijuana ordinance, I am going to tell you it has to be tabled again. The problem is, it has to do, there are so many factors involved with the marijuana. We already introduced the ordinance, and we're working on fine-tuning the final ordinance to protect the citizens, the residents, the taxpayers of Oakland for any potential lawsuits, because it's a zoning issue. And what happened is, we introduced the ordinance, then it had to go to the planning board because it involves zoning. When you prohibit the sale of anything, it's a zoning issue, and we wanted to be in compliance with our master plan as a protection. And so just a little bit longer, our attorney's working with the planning board attorney to make sure the ordinance is so protective that we can prohibit, and we do want to prohibit the sale of marijuana, but we want to do it right. Instead of all these towns rushing to do it, we want to make sure it's done right. So it's coming. We're not ignoring it. I get calls, I get emails, I get stopped at ShopRite. I don't understand it. We're not on the list of all the towns that passed the prohibition of the sale of marijuana. We do want to prohibit the sale of marijuana, but we want to do it correctly. And that's what's taking so long. So as soon as our attorney, Mr. Chakowski, receives the letter from the planning board attorney, which expresses the discussion at the planning board, and we have our planner involved and our borough engineer putting it together so it is done correctly for zoning purposes. So it's not tonight, so if you're here for the if you're here to talk about you could still talk about the marijuana ordinance. You know, we'd love to hear you so I don't have to keep coming back. But it's coming. I can't do it yet until we work with the planning board. So I don't want you to think we're just ignoring everything. And with that, I think I said it all for this week. One more thing. To Route 202 northbound. We get a lot of complaints, and what made me think of it tonight, I was coming back from court, I rushed home before I came to the council meeting. And I don't know, you've all seen my little car, which is very, very low to the ground. I drive very slow over these bumps because otherwise I will go through the roof of my car. And again tonight, there was somebody riding on my bumper because I was going too slow. He's flashing his headlights at me. He's beeping his horn. And I'm thinking, you are crazy. First of all, it's not good for the car. It's not good for the tires. And plus, it's very dangerous to tailgate, and it's also a motor vehicle violation. But that's that. But I met with PSE&G, our borough engineer, representatives from the contractor PSE&G, and representatives from the county. The road will be repaved in November. The reason why they can't do it right away is because they said it had, I'm not a contractor, I'm not an engineer. I listen to the professional and I take their word on it, and they said it has to settle. All the pavement has to settle. So in the meantime, with enough complaining, they came in last month, was it a week ago, to smooth out as much as they could. I don't feel it in my car. I still go very slow. My husband has a bigger car. He says, it improved, it's not great, but it's a little bit better. I'm asking everybody, November is it's already the end of September, so November is 1 month away. Assuming the rain holds up and doesn't come down, and assuming everything goes according to plan, in 1 month, The road will be smooth again because it will be repaved. In the meantime, please, please be patient and don't speed. There's no reason. It's not, I forgot, what was the footage? How many feet are we talking about? They said 30,
It's roughly about 1,200 feet of pavement.
all right, 1,200 feet of rocky road. So if you go below the speed limit, which there are new signs up, if you go below 30 and you go slow, so it took you an extra 2 minutes to get to the pub, which is where it smooths out. Please, be patient, be courteous, and be safe, because if you're tailgating because you think the car in front of you is too slow, and that car has to stop for an emergency, you're gonna go right into that car, and it's gonna cause accidents. And there are people coming out of driveways because people live there. So I'm asking everyone, be patient, one more month. That's all it will take. And it was a necessary job that had to be done by PSE&G because the gas pipes were old and needed to be replaced. So, with that, I said my piece on 202. If you're behind me, be prepared. I go very slow.
I did that to you once.
Oh.
All right? Relax.
Last night, tonight, on the way home, I thought he was going to be on my bumper. So
I
just,
wasn't on your bumper.
that wasn't you, it was a white car. You don't have a white, you have a big SUV. It was a little.
I do.
Oh, that was you?
It wasn't me.
Okay. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You could speak about anything, including marijuana, because I know you always come. I'm sorry. Yes, Frank, it's
Frank
so good to
Monaco.
see, wait a minute. It is so good to see you. We missed you.
Yes, we
No matter what you say to us, we're still happy to see you.
Frank Monaco, 60 Daiquiri. Well, talking about the road, I want you to know the contractor came around.
PSE&G
and repaved
contractor.
After they dug up to put in the new gas lines. They did cause one little minor flood or fire hydrant, but they fixed it. And the town came and patched it. They did a good job too. So we no longer have to call it Patches or Rocky Road, hopefully. All right?
Drive to my house on 202.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know if you knew, they had to come, they finished it. And I'll say one thing about this contractor. They got their act together. It did not take, it was like a day and a half when they came in and they did Daiquiri all the way, 3/4 of the way around, because the rest didn't get dug up. But they do have their act together. Unfortunately, 202 is a tough place to work. But anyway, I thought they did a fairly good job, and that they had their act
Thank you.
together. And I didn't know if you had known if they had done it. But anyway, I want to say that. I came for another reason, but that affair was now canceled. So, but, oh yeah, first aid squad, that's why I originally came. We all know how valuable they are to this community. And if anybody should happen to be thinking of them and would like to write them out a little check, you could even send it to the mayor. She'll make sure they get it.
Yeah, I don't
But-
keep it. No.
But I'll deliver it to them.
All right.
You just get the money. Okay? But anyway, to everybody, please, think about them. You really don't know how valuable they are until you gotta use them, and I had to use them one day. Like, my turn came at the wheel. What was it, 2 years ago? Still here.
That's why we're so happy when you
Yeah.
come here.
But anyway, think of the first aid squad, please. Thank you, you got enough on your plate. I'll be back.
Yes, definitely.
We'll be here.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Please.
You okay? Okay.
I apologize too. I missed the,
I just came again to say thank you to the council and to the mayor for your support for our Walk for Peace on Sunday. We had over 80 people from
Wow.
Oakland walking with us. We had Councilman Pignatelli and Councilman Kamala came, and we're very, very grateful for your support. We're very grateful to the police department for protecting us and interfering as little as possible with traffic on Rambo Valley Road. So in the name of peace and prosperity, and I didn't give my address again, it's 2119.
But we need your
Warrens
name.
Way. Beatrice Padilla, 2119 Warrens Way in Montague. Thank you.
no,
Mayor.
thank you. You could speak too. You don't want to speak? Oh, yes, okay.
Hi, my name is Coralie Corky Swears. I live at 22 Rambo Terrace. And I have a problem with a tree across the street from my house.
Wait a minute, I thought John was hands-on this.
Well, if you sleep every night wondering where the tree's gonna crash through your house, I'm just making it official so that everybody knows that this is a very dangerous situation that I'm in fear of. I started this at the beginning of the summer. I've called the state, the town, the county, and I know everybody's trying to help, but as slowly as it moves, you know, the more
Could
treacherous
you give us an
this
update?
becomes.
Because I know after you came to visit me, I made sure, and John's been working very diligently on this.
I know he has. I went to see the borough administrator today, and I just wanted to hook up and say, this is an 80-foot tree that's dead. The state had said they put an orange mark on the tree. We put the orange mark on the tree. So I've called everybody I can. It's just, I wish they would hurry up so I wouldn't worry.
Wait, John is our, you've met John, our engineer.
Oh, yes.
The one working on it.
Yes, Mayor
Yes.
and Ms. Swears, as I've been talking with you, we had a special contact at the DOT that we thought would be able to take care of this since the tree is on DOT property. And we met with the DOT yesterday on a different matter with regard to 287 that Councilman Kamala and others on the council are working hard to rectify. And once that issue was discussed, I said, oh, by the way, I have this other issue with a tree on the property that needs to be taken down immediately. So I'm to forward them the information, the precise information, the block and lot to this new contact, and they have assured me that they will take care of it. I have yet to do that. I promise you, I'll try to work on it right now, but we are treating it as an emergency.
Yes, it is very scary, to say the least. Thank you for your time.
You know how
I
important
just
it is we're
wanted to
even
be
ex-
officially.
Do you know how important it is we're excusing John for typing during the meeting, even though he's supposed to be refraining from texting and typing?
Yes, he's trying to help me out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak? You can speak. You might as well come speak. You come every meeting.
Hi, I'm Robin Gonzalez at 7 Rock Ledge. I've been to a couple of these meetings now. My son is usually with me, but unfortunately he had too much homework, but sends his regards. We have been very interested in this marijuana ordinance, and although we haven't seen it, and I'm sure that it's going to be read and distributed so that we can see what it covers, I'm curious as to the scope of it and how broad it's going to be and how narrow it's going to be. The reason I say this is because I think that there's a difference between recreational dispensaries and medical dispensaries. And I stand here having never smoked marijuana, never eaten marijuana, never ingested marijuana, so just so that you have an idea of where I'm coming from. However, I do know that medical marijuana can be very effective for a number of different conditions, and I know that there's a lot of concern regarding, as a gateway, what's going to happen if a medicinal dispensary, at the very least, would be in Oakland, and is it going to lead to other drug use and addiction? And, you know, I hope that everybody is looking at this with an informed eye when it comes to the rate of addiction, which is very low, and compared to alcohol and other types of narcotic drugs. And I think that the gateway argument would lend itself to banning all of the pharmacies in town as well for selling opiates. So I'm just curious when it does come out as to how broad it's going to be, and maybe we should
You want to speak?
think to narrow the scope and perhaps consider medical marijuana dispensaries as a separate category.
Our attorney is going to respond.
Yeah, right now, the present draft excludes medical dispensaries. So it's the retail sale, cultivation, warehousing, distribution that would be prohibited. My understanding is the planning board had some suggestions regarding perhaps some limitations in addition to what I just indicated. We're supposed to get a letter from the planning board from their deliberations. It's just the process that we have to go through. Any zoning ordinance is reviewed by the planning board, They provide review and recommendations. It's up to the governing body whether to accept or reject those. Once we have that, we may do a revised draft, we may pass it in its present form, although I've been informed that it's probably more likely than not that we will have legislation on the statewide level in place before the end of the year.
Yeah, I figured there's a whole constitutional aspect to this as well, with a lot of challenges.
There are some towns that outrightly banned all marijuana, both recreational and the medical. And we've been very diligent in trying to separate the two, as you said, because we are aware of people who do use medical marijuana.
Well, thank you so much.
No, then you can watch us, you don't have to come back. Would anybody else like to speak before we close? Then I'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have minutes from September 12th, 2018. There a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
And we have minutes from the executive meeting of September 12th, 2018. They were distributed. If there's going to be any discussion, it must be done during executive session. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
Will there be any discussion? Then we can vote on it.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
And now for the library. This is the exciting part. And you have all the certificates, they're all signed. And I think we should call Eric, because you're the library liaison. Would you read your name? So, to all the library volunteers, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's what life is all about.
Lynn?
To help. Oh, well, I'm talking to them.
I can't hear it.
Oh. The microphone's in the ceiling. So, to all the volunteers, thank you. You worked hard, you were very helpful, you did it without getting any payment, and it was just beautiful to have this opportunity to say thank you. And we have certificates for you. I know it's just a small way of saying thank you, but hopefully we'll get to see you on, and everybody, on October 13th at the ribbon cutting, because you're all a part of it, and we need you. And I hope you continue volunteering. So many activities in Oakland besides the library, so don't think that this is the end all for volunteering. Just keep coming and keep working and keep helping us, because you're our future.
Okay.
All right, you have to say, why don't you read the names here? You
Okay.
see it's up there.
Okay, first one is Christian Arenas.
You read through the top?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you very much. Thank you, Christian. And some of these I know are not here again, but Alexa Beata is one of them. The next person is not here,
Avery.
Avery Bergen.
Thank you, Avery.
Thank you, Avery. Emily Bonini. Emily's
Thank you.
a freshman in high school.
Oh, my.
There you go. Thanks, Emily. We have a few not here. The Campbells,
The Campbells, thank you.
Ryan and Veronica. And where I was sitting, Sophia Cascardi isn't here.
Sophia, thank you.
And then Ava Dandino couldn't be here.
Ava,
And Vida Diabalanaj.
ooh, that was good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Did you
Vida.
say that right?
Close?
Well, the last name you got wrong.
Oh. I tried, and I was practicing. Well, thank you. How do you say it? Oh, okay. We'll have to get together on that. Okay, and Madhav Dua. Madhav is one of our
Thank you.
newest volunteers.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Madhav. And here's your certificate.
And then afterwards, do you want to talk about the program of how they
Sure.
come and volunteer? And
Sure.
I think that's very important that everybody hears that.
Sure. And then an outstanding volunteer is Delicia Flores Gomez.
So thank you.
Delicia.
Outstanding.
Thank you, Delicia. Thank you. She's now a freshman, right?
Wow.
And then Skylar Fortunato could not be here.
Skylar,
Skylar.
hope to see you on October 13th.
Juliana Franco is here.
Thank
Her
you.
brother Gabriel preceded her.
Wow. It's
Thank
in the family.
Juliana. Yes, thank you very much. You're welcome. And then next we have Sydney Gitlitz. I'm sorry, Sydney.
That's why he's reading the names. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Her sister Ariel came through the program.
Ah,
Thank you. And then Benjamin Good. Benjamin is a real stalwart.
whoa. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you so much. And Molly Good, his sister, older sister,
And they're sitting next to each other.
and they're sitting next
Yes.
to you. No
Thank you.
problem. No, they're great kids. We're not kids, young people.
for your dad.
Okay, Molly,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Molly, when did she had her bat mitzvah, bat mitzvah, she proclaimed that people should be more invested in their libraries.
Oh.
good.
Yeah. So I felt I should say that. Next, we have Tara Heyman, who is our real long-standing volunteer. She can't be here.
Is that Lee's door? Lee Heyman?
Yeah.
Door?
Yeah.
I sit next to Lee at the father on the plane.
Okay, Kelsey Cam, another good volunteer. Everybody's a good volunteer, so don't.
And everybody's outstanding.
Right. Katie Kay is
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
a volunteer with her sister.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Ashley Lowe, I think she's a senior, but she couldn't be here. Okay.
So organized, he put names on the chairs.
Yeah, that's the best way. Maria Pan is our very
Oh,
newest
thank you.
volunteer.
Wow. Thank you.
And she worked with Emily over the weekend, and that was great stuff. Thank you, Maria. Ayush Parekh.
Did he say that right?
Parekh.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you,
Thank you.
Ayush.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Suhani, his sister, Parekh. Is that the right way?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so
Turn
much.
around, Mom.
Thank you.
If you have a picture, just let us know. We'll turn them around.
Okay. And then next, we have Apollo Pasquale. He's here.
Thank you, Apollo.
Thank you, Apollo.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you so much.
So run away. Your mom's over there. Picture.
And his sister, Athena.
Ah,
Athena, I'm sorry. Athena Pasquale.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And here's your certificate.
Turn around.
Thank you so much.
And then next, we have a couple people who are not here, Amaya and Leah Pichardo. Leah's going for a congressional honor in
Wow.
DC.
Wow.
Wow.
So she's piling up hours.
Wow.
And then,
Oh, congratulations. When you get the honor, please let us know.
yes, Tola Marta Pikulinski. Her brother Julian preceded her.
A lot of family,
Yes,
a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tola, thank you very much. Tola's
Oh, I think your dad's over there. Smile.
okay. Next, we have Nahali. Ready? Nahali's one of our youngest volunteers.
Wow.
Thank
Were you in
Nahali.
school?
High selection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you, Nahali.
Turn around for your mom.
And then Tricia, ready? Her sister.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tricia. Here's your certificate.
Fuck.
And then, let's see, where are we?
I think you have another room.
Olivia Salazar can't be here.
Olivia, we'll see you soon.
And then we have Christopher Supko. I described him just before we met today as part of the foundation of the volunteer program.
Wow.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris.
Don't get the certificate.
Thank you. And then we have Alexandra Stellenwerf. Alexandra,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Here's your certificate.
Over there.
Okay. And then Melissa Stellenwerf.
She's shaking her no.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Thank you. Great job. And I don't really wanna, I know Emily has worked so hard this year. She had the most number of hours of all the volunteers, and not that that diminishes any volunteer, but she's a second-year volunteer. She hails from France,
Ah,
right? And
well, that's the spelling, that's why.
yeah, Emily Vaissé, right? Is that correct?
Just Vice.
What?
Vice.
Vice. Boy,
Well, I hope you spelled it right.
I spelled it right, but
Okay, thank you.
Vice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then we have Andrew. Come on down. Andrew Goldman, another first-year volunteer.
Go ahead, Andrew. How are you?
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you for coming.
Turn around for your I'm in pictures.
And then I think that's it. We had a few others who couldn't make it.
Well, I hope to see you all on the 13th at the ribbon cutting because you're a vital part of this. But I'm going to sit down,
Okay.
and I think it would be nice if you could just describe to everybody the volunteer program.
Okay. The volunteer program was basically started by the predecessor to our current director. And she said, Mr. Ned, I think you can do this. So for the past, including this year, 7 years in a row, we've had a pretty substantial volunteer program. And a lot of you know, most of you know, and I think all of you know by now, that I'm retiring on Friday. But-
No, you're not.
Okay. But I have loved, this part of my work is so special. I mean, every part is special, really special. But working with the young people, and there's probably a few hundred volunteers over these 7 years who we have worked with. And, or I have worked with, or the director and I have worked with. And we have to give Director Peter a really good, he helped a lot with the volunteer program, and I want to thank him. But, if you ever feel that you have a friend who would be good as a volunteer or addresses the possibility of being a volunteer just between the two of you or a group of you speak with them and tell them about your volunteering. And we can always use a lot more volunteers. And again, I can't say more. And the parents are so supportive. You know, I probably didn't quite get all the names right.
Could you just read the names of those at the end? You said they're not coming.
Yes. Brett Urins and his sister Callie.
Thank you
They're not
both.
here. And we also have the Trianine sisters, Isabella and Aliana. And there are some more. Skylar, well, we got everybody else. Oh, right, the Singer sisters, Alexandra and Gabrielle. They're special too. They've been
Thank you.
multiple year volunteers.
But I want to thank the parents, because without your support and without you driving them, because I'm sure none of them drive a vehicle, so they're counting on you to carpool or drop them off and pick them up. Thank you. Because without you supporting them, they couldn't do it. And that's what it's all about.
And I think they recognize the value of volunteerism. You know, it builds very strong values for the future. So
So thank you. Yes.
Can I just say one thing while Mr. Ned is here? I just want to point out quickly that, as he just announced, Mr. Ned's been with the library for 31 years. He started in 1987. And he started in the old part of the building, down in the children's department, correct?
yes.
And he's watched this whole program in the library grow and got involved with this program. And I just want to thank, on behalf of the council and the community, Ned, thank you for everything you did.
Thank you, Eric.
I mean, it's been...
So,
And also, before, just to remind everybody, there's going to be a little celebration for Ned this Friday at the library from 3 to 5 p.m. So if anybody from the community would like to come down and wish Ned on a send-off, please come down to the library from 3 to 5.
great, thank you for announcing that. And at this time, we continue our meeting. You're welcome to stay. Meetings usually go very quickly, or you could go home and watch it on television, but you're welcome to stay. But if you're going to leave, this is a great time at the lull. We'd love you to stay. But if everybody leaves together, you don't feel guilty about leaving.
Oh, wait. And if you're not out in 30 seconds, you have to stay.
This is what usually happens. They all like.
Milk and cookies for anybody who stays.
How you doing?
Hi, thank you.
How are you?
Hey, the parents are getting younger and younger. Either that or I'm getting older and older.
It's like when I go to the doctor.
They're all younger than me.
You ever go into
Tomorrow.
Bye, okay, take care. They look like they're 12.
Oh, all my doctors retired. They're all younger than me now. My doctors, I hate it. I was,
They just want to get a group picture up here.
sure.
Ned, you want to do a group picture?
Oh, my eyes are so dry. That's right, I went to Young Lawyers dinner Monday night. All the clerks, the law clerks. Oh, young.
Katie? You're both of them?
May I have you girls in the middle?
You want to make sure they graduated from what? From med school, right? They look before they touch you.
Can you guys come together a little? Maybe make a third row?
Would some of you want to stand up here for height? You know, we can move.
Council members also in the back.
Oh,
Could you stand up?
With the group?
Yeah, there we go.
well, some of them could stand up here. Would that help?
Yeah.
Why don't some of you come up here?
So the rest of it, and you're fine.
Everybody squish.
Come on, guys.
On in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go around. Guys?
Good.
Yeah, come.
I think I blinked.
Wait, nobody move. Nobody move. Ready? I'm gonna ask you to put your hands up real quick, Zach. Thank you.
Hold on for a second, please.
Please hands down, please.
Hands up. Thank you. 1 second, hold on, please. Almost done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
One more. No, I'm just kidding.
What do they do before cell phones? Yes. Sure. Oh, thank you. No, thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you so much.
Cutting my hair. I was going through pictures for that, next week I'm honored for the program. And so we were in my office, we're going through all my pictures, and now I'm cutting my hair.
Can I have to?
Do you think I should cut my hair? Yeah. It's too thick. Besides, I'm going back on my diet. That was the other thing I noticed. Plus, I need to lose 20 years. That would help too.
There you go. Why not? Why not?
And you got my response to your email. Yes,
7C, which was the response?
Will's.
Oh.
I said, just call me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got a trust from California.
Ay, she must have spent a fortune.
They're building on a sinister dump. And now she's here, you know, she moved back. She didn't see the crest. Yeah, I see them all the time.
Oh, she must be happy up there. I know, I've done a lot of closings of people that have sold their house. Sold their house here and then.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday.
And they're very happy. There's a lot of activities.
It's not cheap. Oh, it's not cheap.
But they have a lot of good activities.
Perfect example. Well, she bought a large one-bedroom.
Okay.
220,000.
Okay, we're
You
back
ready?
online. We are back. At this time, we have raffle license 1338 for St. Elizabeth's Interparochial School to hold an on-premise 50/50 license raffle on November 9th at the Knights of Columbus. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Second one. Raffle license 1339 for St. Elizabeth, again, for November 9th, Knights of Columbus, another raffle.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? A lot of raffles. St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth Parochial School, raffle license 1340 for the merchandise on November 9th at Knights of Columbus.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have 1341, which is the Elks Lodge 2167 for raffle on November 17th. And there are different baskets, and it's to support the Elks charities.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have, is that it?
That's it.
What are the new friends?
No,
Where's the new friends?
1342.
Oh, I found it over here, it's on the desk, wasn't in the packet. The New Friends of the Library raffle license 1342 is having a raffle on October 13th, the day of the ribbon cutting and grand opening. And the proceeds will be given to the Oakland Library. It's 50% cash prize.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, now we have some appointments. And this is good news, because we have quite a few appointments. The first one is for the Public Events Committee, and it is Sarah Michelle. And she would like to go on the Public Events Committee, but I don't have the listing of what she should be.
Here's the list.
I have the list, but for what? Which
Well,
appointment?
there's a 3-year open expiry next year.
Russ, any suggestion?
I'm not sure what's taken or not.
Do you know?
All 3-year appointments. so-
They're all 3-year appointments, so you want it to expire 2019 or 2020?
2020.
Go for the 2020.
Yeah.
You're getting the 2020. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have one for the Communications Commission. Alex McPhee, and he would like to be on the Communications Commission. And Eric,
Yes.
he could take, there are 2 3-year terms, one expires in 2019, one in 2020.
Give him the 19.
Okay.
Or give him the 20. Give him the 20. I agree. I'm sorry. I was
Okay.
thinking of the wrong one.
Alex,
Backwards.
you're going to be on here till 2020, and then you will reappoint. The motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have, for the Green Team, Abigail Andro for the Green Team. And is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we have resolutions. And there are additional resolutions on the desk that were not in the packet. Sorry.
Mayor,
Yes.
I don't know if I should bring this up now or wait till you read the list. The one for the river restoration project, I mean, we just got it tonight, we haven't had a chance to read this.
So you want to pull that one out?
Well, I mean...
Well, let me read the list.
Yeah, okay.
Because there might be others that people
Yeah,
want to
but
pull
I don't know
out.
how important it is, I haven't read it.
Okay.
I'm gonna extend
Well,
it.
we'll have the councilman describe the importance of it. Okay, we're going to do this as a consent agenda. If you want any pulled out, just tell me. Resolution 18289 to amend the contract for our borough prosecutor, Andrew Simaluka. And what's happening is that because of the new statute that was passed, I don't know, I'm going to say last year, but it's before that, it's a couple of years already. If the prosecutor becomes a municipal judge, any cases that were brought before the court while he was the prosecutor, even if he never saw the case and never touched the case, must be sent out. So Tom Bonacore, who is our judge, was the prosecutor. So any of these cases, he cannot hear the cases. They're sent out to MAWA. So Dennis Haraka has been hearing these cases in special sessions. So that's what 18289 is to amend the contract for the borough prosecutor. 18296 is to support the participation in Sustainable Jersey Styrofoam-Free Initiative. And we had talked about that, about styrofoam and participating in the program. 299 is renew membership in the Bergen County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. Our membership terminates December 31st, 2018, and must be renewed prior to that. So this is for the renewal. 18300 is to readopt personnel policies, and you all received that at the last meeting, so I hope you will have read that. 18301 is to amend the contract for the alternate prosecutor, the same information about the special sessions. 302 is to authorize NJDOT municipal aid application, and that is in the packet. 18303 is the assessment, 44 Loyola Place. When property is not maintained, and we try to get it maintained, and they do not maintain it, then we send it out our own workers to go in, and then we pass on the fees to the homeowner, and that's the assessment.
Do we put a lien on the property, or is it?
It's-
That's correct.
yes.
That's what this resolution does. It authorizes the lien
Yes,
to go onto the
they
property.
get an assessment, so if they sell the house, this
We have
will
to
all
pay.
be
The lien
in,
holders have
yes.
to be paid first.
18304, same thing, 29 Thackeray Road, again, the same thing happened. The invoice here is for $385.48. 18305, we have talked about this, the renaming of Potash Lake, so it's officially Potash Lake. It's block 2207, lot 1. It's approximately 30 acres. It's always been identified, as far as I know, as Potash Lake, and it's commonly known as Potash Lake. However, the tax map and assessment records of the borough refer to the lake as Schuyler Lake, and this resolution will officially authorize the property to be known as, excuse me, Potash Lake. 18306 is to authorize agreement with the state for use of the radio system. And 18307,
Can we pull that one, Mayor, please?
you want to pull that one, 306.
307.
The radio agreement?
Tax appeal, a settlement. 302 West Oakland Avenue, 307.
Well, I didn't read that yet, did I? I didn't read that yet, but you want to pull
Yeah.
307?
Right.
All right, everybody, pull out, this is a tax appeal settlement for 302 West Oakland Avenue. And then we have 308 is to authorize refund of recreation fees to Raphael Mello, 59 Page Drive, in the amount of $65. And the last one is authorize Boswell to perform an RDP assessment for Sandy Beach property, and it's for Boswell Engineering, not to exceed $2,500.
There's one more.
And then there's 311.
Right.
18311 is authorized engineering phase 2 for the Round Pole River restoration project. You want that pulled?
Yes, please.
Okay. So everybody, that's on the table. That was not in the packet. So that is for the river restoration. So we're pulling out 18307, 18311. Are there any others? All right, is there a motion for consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pimentelli?
Yes.
Councilman Palomino?
Yes.
Okay, now everybody go back to 18307. It's a tax appeal settlement, 302 West Oakland Avenue, known as Block 203, Lot 1, located at 302 West Oakland Avenue, and it has to do with the tax appeals for the tax years 2016, 2017, and 2018. Yes, Councilman.
Yes, Mayor, if you look at the last sentence in the now therefore be it resolved,
Yes.
resulting in a total approximate refund of $25,800. There's one extra zero in there.
Oh,
There's a typo. We'll-
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
we'll
typo.
correct it.
It just needs to be corrected. Right.
Can we correct
We
that?
don't want to give them too much.
All right, so with that, otherwise, is there a problem?
Fine. No, that's
You'll
it.
make the motion?
I moved 307.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pimentelli?
Yes.
Councilman Palomino?
Yes.
We wouldn't want that to have been construed as 25 million, I guess.
Well, I have to tell you that an error was made. I had a court case where someone was supposed to pay somebody $3,500. Somehow the decimal point got moved over. The check was for $35,000. They're now in court.
Ooh. Well,
So that was a good find.
happens to me.
Okay, so now we have Resolution 18311, authorizing engineering Phase 2 for the Round Pole River Restoration Project. And I'm going to ask Councilman Levy to describe this.
sure.
Thank you, Mayor. We've been working with the New Jersey DEP on finally getting this river restoration project underway. And as part of this project, what they wanted us to do was to conduct a mussel survey. what they call the season for the survey is supposed to end at the end of September. Because they seem to be relatively excited about what we're doing and how we're going to do it, they agreed to extend the period that we can do the survey into the first week of October. So the reason this came on as an emergency is because obviously we're almost at the first week in October. And if we wait until the next council meeting, we won't be able to do this muscle survey until next year. Unfortunately, this is the survey that the previous contractor did not do properly, or I guess did not do even remotely as thoroughly as the DEP would have liked. So it's something we have to do, and we're doing this in phases because this muscle survey is going to determine how much and what we can do further on down the road. In other words, we don't want to do a plan for the entire river if we're only going to get to work on 75% of it. It's the same reason we can't even hire a surveyor yet. We need the muscle survey before we can take the next steps. So we're being billed in these phases so that we reduce our liability and keep the costs under control.
And within our budget, there's a place,
Yes.
there's, Mr. Kunz?
What's the
Yeah,
total
funds
cost?
are available for this.
What's the total cost of the project?
When we canceled the contract with the last,
30,000. Am I correct that the total cost is 30,700?
6, maybe 6 and high change or 700 and low
Yeah.
change, yeah.
when we canceled the contract with the last provider, whatever you want to award it, contractor, we still intend to go ahead with the project? Is that the consensus of the council, or? I mean, I don't know.
Well, we've already approved the phase 1. Why would we have done that if we didn't want to go ahead? Did you not want to go ahead? Because that would have been the time to say no.
No, I'm just wondering if canceling the contract with that guy canceled the whole project. If not, then, okay.
No, we canceled the contract with we canceled the contract with the contractor for, Brian, correct me, non-performance?
Right, contract was terminated because the contractor failed to perform in a timely manner and also in a scope matter as to what to produce. If you recall, a permit was required from DEP in order to perform the work. We received a letter from DEP, said that they would not issue that permit and had a laundry list of what the issues were. So the contract in and of itself was terminated without any expense to the borough.
So this contract here doesn't actually do any of the river restoration. It just provides the information.
This is the soft cost part of it.
But this is needed to do the restoration.
You can't work in the wet without doing this work in advance.
And if I may, Councilman, unfortunately, I learned way too much about this when we were going through the contract period. This work that is being done are studies that'll be required in order to obtain the permit.
So then we still don't have a contractor that's going to do the river restoration project?
We do not, because we do not have the entire scope of the work yet. We can't come up with even a soil biomechanical design until the DEP tells us what areas we can work in the water, what areas we may be limited to only working on the embankments.
So the design is going to have to be redone?
There was no design. There
there
was a design. It wasn't remotely adequate for what the DEP wanted. The difference is, what we're doing this time is we're communicating with the DEP in advance. We're going to them saying, what do you want us to do? What can we do? And we're going to construct a design around what their requirements are.
So
when we bid the project the last time, okay, it was essentially like a design build type project. The design was put on the GC, working with Princeton Hydro to do it. Okay, they were not able to get that permitted, right? And it goes to the non-performance issue. All right, so this time they're going to take a little bit different approach. We're doing a lot more of the homework up front, and this is part of that.
So
Again.
Just so I understand completely, so once we do this, then we would have to go out for design?
No. Well, once we do the muscle study, and we have the permit to do the muscle study already, So once we do that, then we can do the mussel study, we perform the mussel study, submit that to the DEP. The primary concern of the DEP right now is an endangered species called the eastern lamp mussel. There's like a triangle mussel and a floater mussel, but their primary concern is the eastern lamp mussel. So what the original study did, that we can't use anymore because number one, its time has elapsed, and number two, it was woefully inadequate, was it just identified that there were mussels in the river. Everybody knew that there were mussels. The study that the DEP requires,
even look
without
at
going
them
into a
anymore.
lot of detail,
Restaurants.
is they want to know where the mussels are. We're going to actually have to mark where the mussels are, and in those habitat areas, keep a 50-foot buffer. So that's going to determine where machines can go in the water, how we get them in and out of the water.
But again, the design still has to be done then.
Yes, the design will be phase 3, because you can't do, it doesn't pay to do a design on 2.7 miles of river if we're only going to be allowed to work
Right.
in arguably 2 miles of it.
So we still don't have someone who's going to do the design?
We do.
We do, okay.
This engineering firm.
Oh, okay, so
He's an environmental engineer, actually. This is what they do.
so he's doing the study and he's doing?
No. A company called Biodiversity is doing the mussel study. That's the back part of that packet.
It's in the packet.
I don't know, we just got this tonight, that's why I'm questioning it.
That's okay, and you
Yeah.
should question it.
Yeah.
So biodiversity is a recognized endangered species biologist. They do this. When we met with the DEP acknowledged that they were a reputable firm, without endorsing them, obviously. So this is who we contracted with, or we will contract with.
And this is actually the same firm that had done the
Yes.
previous study under a different scope.
They were given a direction apparently to have a greatly reduced scope.
So correct me if I'm wrong, I thought we were in disagreement with the previous company as to the cost for the mussel management plan.
Yes,
We were,
and
but that was, go ahead, Rich.
No, and it turned out that the scope of their study did
Was
not
wrong.
meet the DEP's requirements. It was insufficient.
What-
Okay. This one does meet their.
Because I think that was like for $5,000 or something.
No. They tried to bill us $12,000,
Okay.
all right? The study that Princeton Hydro went for was based on what they decided they wanted to do.
Okay.
The study that this is what the DEP wants.
Oh, okay.
You can't do this work with them unless you work with them.
Sure.
And they tell you, just like anything else, it's no different than you want to put it in sewers, you have regulations that you have to follow. And the prudent way to do it is you go to the permitting authority and you say, we want to do this, how do we do it? And they tell you, and you follow that procedure.
And the last company didn't do that?
Not in a big way.
Okay.
So we have taken steps to do this, 100% the correct way now.
So this question might be premature, because I have a lot of people asking me, are we still gonna use all those big boulders down there, or not?
Well,
I mean,
we would love to try and use them. When we met with the DEP, they are not happy about most of those boulders.
Okay.
And there's also pieces of concrete down there that cannot go in the water. And some of those boulders, quite frankly, are much bigger than the DEP would allow us to put in the river. That river's in a floodplain. And so one of the things you don't ever want to do is you don't want to have what's called you don't want to do a net fill.
Yeah, right.
And you start taking some of these big 7, 8 foot, 9 foot boulders, you're going to displace a lot of water.
Yes, yeah.
The project we feel is going to call for between 4 and 6 foot boulders, which are going to get buried. But you're still going to be displacing some materials. But we have so much serious bank erosion all up and down the river, we're going to try and use some of that displaced material within the banks, because obviously we can't build up the grades around the river, because then you're changing the floodplain. We can't do that.
So the eventual benefit of this river restoration project will be that there will be less erosion.
The benefits of the project for the residents of the town are, number one, this is a resource that everybody gets to enjoy. And it is becoming extremely, it's already very sick. When you go walk down West Oakland Avenue and go over the river, you can see we've got shoaling in the middle of the river that now probably is visible from Google Earth. And this is happening all up and down the river. We've got parts of the
Shoaling is build up or like a mound of sand.
When islands, but what happens when you don't deal with the shoaling, and then what happened by West Oakland, for example, is now organic matter started to grow there. So everything is now taken root. You know, so normally if you get sand or rock shoaling, you get a big water event and it all washes downriver.
Correct.
It can't do that anymore.
It's so established.
Because everything is rooted in place.
Isn't the bottom line is for the health of the river?
It's
And the
for a
fish
few
and the
things.
wildlife?
It's for the health of the river. It's absolutely going to be a fish habitat enhancement. There is going to be some measure of flood component to it. Anytime you control erosion and sediment, you are helping with flooding. You know, is it going to take a 100-year flood and mitigate it? Nope. But it will take the smaller events, which again, some of those small events get out of bank, bring sediment back into the river, it fills up the channel. Part of this project is the management of the Thelwig, sort of that low part of the channel, and how we take during low water events and distribute that water energy that's flowing downriver by making it wander across the bank.
And that's what the boulders would do?
No, that you do that by rechanneling the Thelwig. Boulders are used to create riffles and pools. So near outside curves, for example, you might put a group of 4 boulders, and they're going to have two functions. One function is water that's coming down that's going to hit that outside turn. That water energy is going to be dissipated, so you're not going to damage that bank. It will also create cool water areas. So during low flow times or during low elevation of water, there will be deeper areas where fish can go, and it's healthier for the fish. It will also help with some insect habitat, because that's what the fish eat. You know, if the DEP, we took them for a walking tour of the river, and they realized also that if we don't do something, nothing's going to be able to live in it.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's very enlightening.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
And do you understand that now?
Yes,
So
I
with
understand
that-
it better than I did before.
Can I ask one question, Mayor?
Another question?
Yes.
I thought you learned everything.
Is it hard?
Mr. Coons, how much do we have budget for this at this point?
The soft cost, the balance in the soft cost budget, because there were costs paid out to Boswell Engineering already for this, is about $42,000 before this, so this leaves about $12,000 or so. And that's, you know, so that's why there's enough.
9,000 that we got back from, that we have to.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit this budget.
Okay, so,
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought- I'm
What do we-
sorry.
What do we think the expected project cost is going to be for this project?
The guesstimate for the actual construction is probably going to be between 250 and 300,000. But the problem is we don't know that until the mussel study is done and we know how much river we can work on.
Okay.
That's why it's. I think we had what, 600,000?
That was total, I think it was like 480 or so.
We don't believe that we're going to hit
Hold on.
anywhere close to that.
Okay. So is it fair to say that after the study's done, somebody can give us a presentation, just re-educate us again on this council?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that we kind of
Once-
well, you don't remember?
No, I don't.
$500,000 for construction.
How much was it?
$500,000 for
Okay.
construction.
And you're expecting it's going to come well under 500,000?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
We may have to use some of the construction for some of the soft costs, but overall, the project's going to be well under what we budgeted for it.
So with that, do you want to entertain a motion?
Yes, I entertain a motion.
No,
to-
we'll have,
Oh,
it's his,
I'd like to entertain a motion to pass the resolution.
and would you like to second it?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? All right, roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Kamara?
Yes.
Councilman Ely?
Yes.
Councilman Vinatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Calhoun?
Yes.
I think we all got a good lesson, so thank you.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yes, yeah.
You want me to say it again?
No.
No.
All right, the final adoption of 18 Code 767 prohibit the retail of marijuana establishments. Again, we're hoping that this could be tabled, so I need a motion to table.
Motion to table.
Second?
Second.
Vote roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Pinatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
We're going to go for it. I think we really have to. We're delaying this a long time already. So I think we have to light the fire under our planning board attorney to work with our engineer and with
Planner.
Steve Lyden and to put it together so that we can get this ready for next time. Good, thank you. Anybody for work session? I see none. New business? None. So let's go council committee reports. This time I started here. We'll start with Russ.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini, sorry.
The schools will be meeting tomorrow, September 27th, to discuss security in the schools and other things.
What time is that meeting?
8 a.m.?
6:15, I think.
6:15?
Yeah, I think that was it. I'll check my calendar.
Thank you.
Different meeting, sorry.
Different meeting. There's two meetings.
Yeah.
This is tomorrow night.
Right.
Yes.
You're going?
Yeah.
Councilman Talamini, you're going, I'm going. Mr. Kearns cannot go.
And we had an admin meeting yesterday. We met to discuss some building department issues, and that went pretty well, I thought. And then public events, again, we always need members. We got one more tonight. That was very good, but please come and join the public events. It's a great group of people. They do a lot of good things, including on Sunday, September 30th, there's going to be the car show at the Copper Tree Mall. That's a lot of fun. My kids love it every year.
Oh, public events is also
They,
put
they,
oh, good.
they participate in that. And then on Sunday, October 14th, the Mothers Club is doing a pumpkin painting at the Danny D building. It's $5 per pumpkin. Yeah, kids of all ages are invited to paint pumpkins. And then on Saturday, October 27th, is the Halloween parade. We'll start lining up at 9:50 at Valley Middle School, and there'll be some classic cars there with some candy handing out. So if you're coming to march in the parade, bring a little trick-or-treat bag so you can collect some candy. And it's a fun event. You get to seeing the kids dressed in their costumes is a lot of fun. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Aren't you also doing, that's what I read in the flyer, you're also doing the grand opening ribbon cutting?
Yes, they're going to.
Oh, yes, yes.
I saw food, I assumed it was
Yes,
the public events.
they'll be participating in the
Right.
library event also. Yes, like I've said before, the public events is pretty much involved in every event that we do in town. It's so the more volunteers we have, the better. Thank
Very
you.
much appreciated, thank you.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Okay. Once again, just to reiterate what the mayor said, grand opening of the library is October 13th, 11 o'clock. And please, any resident that hasn't had an opportunity to go see the library, go down there, look at it, see what's happening.
Really
We're
nice
just
job.
about done, we're only a few more items on the punch list and the library's complete. Also, don't forget to say goodbye to Ned this Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. and from people from the community for his send-off. Last Thursday, I had the privilege of attending the Fire One graduation in Hackensack, and I'm happy to announce that Jeffrey Binder, Daniel Binder, and Eric DeGrossa have completed their Fire One, and they also have a certificate in hand. Last week, we also had a recreation meeting, actually this past Monday. Fall sports is well underway. They're getting ready for sign-ups for winter sports. And there was a resident asked me about the $54,000 that we had approved at the last council meeting for the nets. And I just wanted to point out that these nets were damaged during a storm, and these were paid for by insurance after about a $2,600 deductible. So we're getting brand-new nets that were damaged by the storm, so we got very lucky when it came to that. One other issue that came up in the rec meeting was the bathrooms. The rec commission is really very adamant about having the bathrooms completed, and they've also received some, residents, asking them when they're going to be done. So Mike and I had met with the Borough Administrator today, and Rich, do you want to just kind of give an overview of when these will be completed?
Yeah, just very briefly, as we get into October, they'll be out to bid during that month. We'll then take bids and award the project, and we're anticipating that construction will be done over the winter and certainly be ready in time for opening day in the spring.
So just so the residents know, members of the Rec Commission, so hopefully the construction will be done in the winter and be open in the spring. So while nobody's using the fields, we can be doing that work. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman?
Yes, I start off with my seniors, and there'll be a movie day on Thursday, October 4th, from 1:30 to 3:30. Bingo will be on Thursday afternoon, October 18th at 1 p.m. There'll be the Senior Flu Shot Clinic on Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. Pre-registration will be tomorrow, Thursday, 9/27 from 11 to 1 at the Health Department office. There'll be a pizza party and a Jeopardy game show on Wednesday, October 24th. DPW. DPW workers are diligently working to remain compliant with the DEP Water Quality Accountability Act. They're flushing hydrants and exercising distribution system valves. This work will be required year-round to keep up with the demands of the new act. DPW workers will all be inspecting and cleaning stormwater catch basins during October and November throughout the borough, as detailed in our New Jersey DEP Water Management Plan. Boswell employees will be also seen walking the streets with GIS equipment, putting together an update on the water system mapping. Lastly, the DPW vehicle equipment maintenance crew has, I hate to say this, has already begun putting the plows on the trucks for the inevitable white stuff.
It's only September.
It's only September, but we have to be ready. I remember a Halloween about 4 years ago.
the Halloween snow.
We got 12 inches of wet snow that collapsed my canopy.
Yeah, it's
because
actually a
it
big
came-
job to get everything ready, make sure all the equipment is working.
Right.
Replace hydraulic lines, replace snowplow blades, and it's, there's a lot into doing that prep work.
But they told me it's not gonna snow until they repave the road.
They're lying.
Well, we can hope.
And I got a couple sidebars here. I'd like to congratulate the mayor because the Bergen County Bar Foundation is having their annual awards dinner on October the 4th, on Thursday evening, at the White Beaches Country Club. And our own inimitable mayor is receiving the award for the Attorney Community Service Award for the year 2018.
Congratulations,
So,
Mayor.
congratulations. And I would like to congratulate the team that I work with, including the Alpert Group, the Housing Authority, and the Housing Development Corporation, because today I found out that we received one of two of the awards for the best supportive housing project in the state of New Jersey with the Franklin Lakes project.
Wow, that's the special needs housing?
Yes, this
Wow.
award is granted each year to one or more project teams that have demonstrated excellence and innovation in the development of an affordable housing project for people with disabilities that are also true to the philosophy and goals of the supportive housing model.
Wow.
So congratulations, Joe Alpert, my partner.
Oh, nice
And
job.
all the entire staff in my office who has worked on this project for the last couple of years, so it's
Great.
really
That's
coming out
good news.
And we're putting
Congratulations.
people in, hopefully 11/1, November 1st, we should be putting people into the
Wow,
project.
already?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah. Utilities went in this week, and the next thing they'll be doing is the landscaping. And we have a little bit more work. We're waiting for a Boswell update on, on a permit to finish off a little bit of the force main that's picking up on the other side of Colonial Road.
That's great
But
news.
90% of it is done.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And congratulations to you, Mayor.
Oh, thank you.
Nice job.
Councilman?
Yes,
I
thank
think
you,
he's
Mayor.
finished. Oh, and what happened? They just canceled the senior picnic at all, totally.
Rich, you know what? I guess.
Yes.
We just got a notification from the county offices that, I guess they tried to reschedule it. It was rained out a couple times, and they just canceled it altogether.
Every
is what we
date
heard.
they rescheduled for was raining.
Rain.
Yeah, yeah,
It's canceled.
yeah.
Oh, Next year.
Try again next year.
Okay, sorry.
Ready, Mayor?
You're on.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I attended the Board of Health meeting on September the 17th. Just to reiterate what Councilman Bialy said, the seniors flu shot on October 2nd. Please, 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 every year, over 30,000 people die from influenza. Don't take this lightly. Make sure you get your flu shot, especially the senior citizens. However, young children too are susceptible. Please check with your pediatrician, especially if you have children under 2 years old. Check with your pediatrician about the flu shot for infants. And especially reminder to senior citizens, if you don't get it at the health department, at the senior center, get it through your local doctor. Or the pharmacy. You can even go to your pharmacy and get the shot. It's paid for by Medicare. The rabies clinic is going to be November 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. Down at, I believe it's down at the recreation garage building. I think that's what you call it. I'm not even sure. The equipment building. I think that's what they call it. I ask you to please be patient with me because Councilman Knapp asked me to read his report, or I'm second chair of the Public Safety Commission.
Oh, at least he typed it, he didn't write it.
So,
Are you actually using a smartphone?
yes, I am.
Can you read? You can make it larger, the print.
You want my glasses?
I'm okay, thank you, though. He asked me to read this report from Captain Keith Sanzeri. It's a letter. The officers of the Oakland Police Department have been working hard in August. With record high temperatures this month, it was welcoming to see PSE&G outside detail on Ramapo Valley Road wrapping up. Oakland officers, with the help of surrounding agencies, have provided traffic safety for this job all month, keeping the workers, drivers, and pedestrians safe. Thankfully, it was completed before the start of school. And I have to say, even though they had to stop traffic, I live right there where the construction was done. You weren't delayed more than 5 minutes.
It wasn't bad.
No, they really kept traffic flowing. My hat's off to all of them. Also, this month, the officers completed their mandated active shooter training for the year by putting in over 200 hours of active shooter training at IHHS. They also put in over 150 hours of mandated firearms training. This included training and increasing their proficiency with the department-issued handgun and long guns. This was the only training conducted because most police academies that offer the training classes do not offer them over the summer months. In August, officers managed to conduct 292 motor vehicle stops and 12 traffic enforcement details, which resulted in 341 summonses issued. This is a good momentum to keep the town and streets safe leading to September and start of school. Captain Sanzera met with personnel from many of our schools, had quality discussions with them, and monitored the testing of the panic buttons at the Oakland Public Schools. Officers are stretching their legs in preparation for school walkthrough starting up in September. One of our schools has a non-traditional start-up date in August. However, we did not miss it. Officers were walking through the Japanese school during the first week of instruction. One of the newest officers, Timothy McDonough, is working toward the end of his field training period. Officer Joe Norrie has shown Officer McDonough the many responsibilities of the police department, of the police job, and Officer McDonough will be sent out on his own at the end of September or October. His field training is an accelerated pace given his prior law enforcement experience. The two other newer officers, Jacob Martin and Patrick Fitzgerald, are in their second month of their training at the Bergen County Law and Public Safety Institute. I speak with them or text them almost every weekend, and they appear to be doing well. Please refer to the attached activity report for more statistics. Please contact me if you have any.
Can you get the attachment?
Yes, I have it right here. Okay. Just be patient with me. So we have backup other officers, 413, motor vehicle stops, 292. I won't read all of them. We don't need to do that.
It's just because you can't scroll it.
I can scroll it, I'm scrolling, just give me a second,
Next
please.
time, ask him to print it out.
I'm doing fine, he would be doing the same thing. He would be scrolling.
Is he scrolling or strolling?
I'm scrolling. And so that finishes the police department report. However, we do have others. Okay. So we have the First Aid Squad monthly report. Calls for service 70, with a total of 140 hours. Year-to-date, 628 calls for 1,256 hours. And that's it for the First Aid Squad. And the next one is the Fire Department. So the Fire Department calls for service, 27 calls for a total of 331 hours. Year-to-date, 302 calls for a total of 6,406 hours. And I believe that's it. And I don't think I did too bad.
I think you did great. Very proud of you. Just think what'll happen when we get the big computers.
So I'm done, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Councilman.
Thank you. The Flood Commission met this month. We discussed the Army Corps of Engineers came down with and did a review of the flood control project. They had some comments. We have some work that we have to do. I believe we're meeting in October 11th or 10th.
Around there, yeah.
With Anthony from the DPW and Mr. Kuntz here and Roy Balberger to go over what we have to do in order to maintain that project as agreed with this, with the state and with the federal government. I would remind everybody that we will definitely be needing 2 new members for the Flood Commission come January. So if anybody has an interest, please either contact me on my borough email or get a citizen leadership form from Lisa at Borough Hall. We'd be happy to have you.
And you don't have to necessarily live.
No, you do not have to live in a flood
Right.
zone, you just have to want to help. And Shade Tree Commission, unfortunately, I could not make this month because it was busy. And that's it.
Planning board?
Planning board. Well, we did discuss the marijuana resolution. We we're looking at expanding the drug-free school zones in order to get a realistic prohibition ordinance in place. And I think that's, we're just waiting for our borough attorney now, the planning board attorney to get a letter over to the governing body so that we can approve a marijuana prohibition.
Did the engineer and did Steve Lyden meet with him?
I don't know that, Mayor. We have the draft letters that have been circulated.
Oh, okay.
So
you're working on it?
We're looking at it right now, yes.
All right, you got till the next meeting.
Yes. Understood.
Okay.
Deadline.
Thank you.
I think I'm good.
All right. With that, there's nobody here, but, motion open to the public?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
There's nobody here.
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills to be paid.
Bills to be paid. Bills to be paid, $446,815.38. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy?
Yes.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Piantelli?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Is there a meeting to adjourn?
Mayor,
A meeting, a motion? Yes,
a quick unfinished business real quick?
sure.
I just wonder if, once again, like I do every meeting, if Borough Engineer can give us an update on where we stand with Patriots Way Bridge inspection?
Yes, I'm happy to report at about 2:54 this afternoon, I received the report that we've been waiting for from the DOT inspectors. So now we will take the draft recommendations in that report, incorporate it into our plans, and submit the plans to the Department of Transportation for their Structural Bureau to review by next Friday. They will take roughly 5 weeks to review, and we'll get comments back. And so we're looking to advertise around Thanksgiving for this project, and hopefully award probably after the new year for the project to get started.
Can they work in the winter?
This project can be done in the winter because the first thing we'll be doing is demolishing the deck and taking the stringers off. That's certainly work that can be done in the winter. There's no concreting or asphalt, so it could certainly get started in the winter, but it would have to wait until the spring and the warmer weather for it to be completed completely with the paving.
And so once again, I'm reaching out to the members of the association at Ramapo River Reserve so that we can schedule a meeting. I asked to come up with some dates, still waiting. I've spoken to residents of Ramapo River Reserve, like to have a meeting, and the biggest issue will be Patriots Bridge. Thank you.
Mayor, one more thing, since demolition was brought up. Mr. Coons, are we still on track for the end of the year houses coming down?
Yeah, we're still on track with the bidding process, and we'll see what happens.
On Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Yep.
Yes, those are the same, I constantly in communication with the residents on Roosevelt, and I promised you, and I've showed you that we're not just sitting back behind the scenes, it's working on it, and it's going to be done. Okay, now, motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next meeting will be here on October 10th.
Okay.